Okay, so now we're going to learn how to create a loop. For those of you that do not know what a loop is simply a transaction. So an example for that, just so you know, if you had a listing and you had two units, there's unit A and there's unit B. Those are not to be included together as one loop. They should be two separate loops because they're two separate units. So just remember it that way. So again, unit A is loop 1, unit B is loop 2. And we always want to label our loops as the address of the property so it's easy to pull up. So here we go. In order to create your first loop, you want to hover over this happy face, which is what takes you to loops. Whenever you click this button, it's going to take you to your happy face, happy place, your home page, loops. That's going to be all your loops. Hopefully, eventually you'll have 100 of them. But for now, we're going to go ahead and create our first loop. Click the plus sign. You want to name your loop the address of the property. The only time you would want to name your loop the name of the person is if, for example, you have a buyer. I'll use the name Joe Buyer. Let's say Joe Buyer doesn't have a property just yet. Then you're going to put in Joe Buyer's name and create the loop. Once Joe Buyer has a property that's under contract, that point you're going to go back into that loop and change the name of the loop from Joe Buyer to the address of the property before you submit it to your manager. So for now, we're going to use 123 Main Street. And you click Create Loop. After creating your loop, you want to make sure that you go into Edit Details, which is right under the name of your loop. In Edit Details, you want to plug in as much information as you can possibly plug in for your loop. This is going to save you a lot of time because everything you plug into your Edit Details screen is going to autofill in every single one of your templates. Now, just a heads up, only your templates autofill. If you upload a PDF from your computer or your email, it does not autofill. I will show you in another segment how to plug things in to a PDF as well. But for now, what I'm showing you again is the Edit Detail screen. The first thing you're going to look at in the Edit Detail screen, you have options of titling your loop as a private, active, under contract, sold, leased, or archived. The main ones you're going to use will be under contract, active, and sold and leased. Archive is for you to get rid of a loop, make it disappear without deleting it. You will not be able to delete anything once you have put it in Dotloop for record purposes. Any loop that you create will automatically say private, so you do again want to make sure you label it whatever it is. If it's a listing, you want to put active. If it's under contract, etc., etc. It's pretty self-explanatory. For right now, let's just put under contract. Transaction type. Is this a sale or purchase, or is this a lease? We'll call this a sale or purchase. You want to use the property address, use custom name. The custom name is the property address. Most of this stuff is going to be self-explanatory. Under your name, you want to give yourself a role. Every person you add to your loop has to have a role for electronic signature purposes. I'm going to be the buying agent. You can ignore all this stuff. That's actually for me. Property address, you're going to put in unit number 123. I'm sorry, let me back up. Street number. See the difference? Street number, unit number. 123. Street name is Main. We don't have a unit number. Let's just make up a city. Any city. And since this is going to be a Virginia one, I'll just put Virginia. Okay. Zip code 12345. Add the country, MLS number. If you don't have some of the information for these, It's not a big deal. This is just for yourself to make things easier on you. You can plug in the financials, contract dates, offer dates, all of that. When you're done plugging in all the information you have, go to the bottom and click Save. Throughout your transaction, next week, the week after, if you get more information that you can plug in, go back to your edit details later and plug it in. It will not ever be too late to add something new to a loop or to a document that you have already uploaded. So if you go back to here, back to loop, the next step we're going to take is you want to go ahead and start adding your documents, uploading your documents that you're going to use for your loop. So in order to add a document, I already have this here, but I'd like to show you how I got there. I clicked Add Document. You have 3 different ways to add a document to your loop. You can choose to upload from your computer, from your templates, or from your email. I'm going to show you a quick example of each one.
The first method that Dotloop provides you of uploading a document to your loop is to upload a file from your computer. This is very helpful for if you have a document that's been already filled out, say you hand wrote a contract and you only need to upload it to complete your file in Dotloop or to add a signature. This is also especially helpful if you have a unique document that you couldn't find in the template section and you need to upload it and fill it out. We're going to show you in another segment how to edit that PDF and to fill out a document that you have uploaded. So the first step here, before you do this, is to save your document to your computer. Save it someplace that you will remember, because we're going to go find it right now. So you're going to select Add From, Computer, and this will pull up your Windows Explorer window. You're going to find your document, whatever folder you saved it in. Select the document and click Open. And you'll see here that it was very quick. It uploaded, and now it is visible in the folder section of our documents in our loop. Now, our newly added document should be bold. Double check, make sure that your newly added document is here, because if it isn't, you might need to repeat that step and re-upload it. Another method that I think is actually easier, it's a nice shortcut to uploading documents from your computer, is to pull open the window where you saved your file. And very easy, you just click to select, hold down, and drag to this section right here in your loop. And very easy as well, you see that it is bolded. Now your new document is only bolded when you have never viewed it before or opened it. The second method that Dotloop gives you to adding a document to your loop is to select from already uploaded templates. Now, Exit Elite Realty has a variety of different templates available for you from different associations. We have Maryland State Forms, NVAR, SMAR, PGCAR, Anne Arundel County Forms, and also all of the GCAR forms. Now, all you need to do is you can either search for a specific document, so you don't have to go through each folder to look for them. You can also select multiple documents. You just hit this check bar, say, I want all 3 of these documents. Now, once you have selected all of the documents you would like to add to your loop, click Add Documents. Say that you were not able to find a document in the listing package for Maryland. We have also made every single document that has been uploaded to the templates in Dotloop available in the Exit Elite Realty Documents folder. This is going to be helpful for if you don't know what you're looking for, say you just want to look through everything, or if for whatever reason a document is missing from a specific folder. Now, if that's the case, please notify your administrator that a document is missing and they can take care of that for you. So I have selected my 3 documents, and all I wanted to click is Add Documents. And you can see in the folder portion of my documents section in my loop, I now have these 3 documents. They are bolded because I've never opened them before. And if you need to add more documents, you just repeat that process. The third option that Dotloop provides you for adding a document to your loop is to email your document. This really only becomes helpful if somebody emailed you a document and you would like to forward it into the loop. This completely avoids having to download the document to your computer and then re-uploading via the computer method. So it's a bit of a shortcut. All you need to do is select the email option, and it's going to give you a long email address. This is unique for this loop. Each loop will have a different email address, so make sure that you go into each loop each time and copy that email address. You can also save this somewhere for easy access if you're on the go. All you need to do is, I would suggest forwarding your email, or if you want to send a new email to this loop, copy, go to your email, and paste this into the to field. Then you would want to double check, make sure that your file is attached, and then just hit send. Once your document is uploaded, it should show up in the folder section of your documents in your loop. Now, it might not show up right away, depending on how fast your connection is. It might take a few minutes to send from your email into the loop. So give it a little time. If it's been more than 5 minutes and you have refreshed the window and you still don't see it, try re-forwarding it. Make sure that that works. If not, contact the help section of Dotloop for more assistance.
Also within your loop, after you've created it and you've uploaded your documents, there is a people section. You want to make sure you add all the people who will be involved in this transaction. You're going to click Add Person. And in this case, I'm going to use the name Minnie Mouse as my buyer. And I actually have a minnie@gmail.com email already in there. So go ahead and click on that. From there, she's the buyer. Now, if this is a brand new person that you're putting in, you're just going to simply type in their email address. If you notice, Minnie's Gmail address popped up for me because she's already saved in my people, in my address book. I will go over that with you later. One thing that I want to point out to everyone that's very important, if you notice, there's Add to My Team. The only time you want to check Add to My Team is if you have a transaction that you're sharing with another agent in our office that you don't mind them seeing every single thing that goes on in the loop. When it comes to a buyer or a seller, you do not want them to see everything that goes on in the loop. That's it. Since Minnie, we'll pretend, is just now being added for the first time to a loop, I want to send her an intro email. So when Minnie gets an email notification coming from my Dotloop, she'll know what it's for. You can just type, hey Minnie, please check out my loop. And click Add Person. Now Minnie's going to get an email. The next section in your loop under People is Tasks. The task bar you do not have to use. It's just something for you to put in reminders for yourself, assignments to do, or even something for you to keep of record for your buyer or your seller to see what you're actually doing for them. To add a task, you're just going to go to My Tasks, plug in a simple task like schedule inspection. Hit enter, and you can put in the date of the inspection. Example. let's say you've done the inspection, you can check it off, let your person who comes into the loop see that you've completed it. If you put in something, a task that you don't want in there, delete. Tasks are the only thing you can delete in Dotloop. Everything else must be archived if you no longer want it. So now we have just created a loop. We have uploaded documents, added people, and I've shown you briefly how to do tasks if you choose to use tasks. If you stumble over an issue or you have a question and you need an immediate response, if you're stuck in a loop, whatever it is, all you need to do, no matter what page you're on in Dotloop, scroll down. Right here is a phone number. It can appear as this 513 number, which it does for me. I think that's because I'm a dashboard admin. For you, it may be an 800 number. Again, it's going to be at the very bottom. You call that number to the help center. There is always somebody there with Dotloop that can walk you through step by step what you need assistance with, so it actually teaches you hands-on. When you call the number, it's going to ask you for your member ID. This is my member ID, but your member ID will be different. So just make sure, again, scroll down, no matter what page you're on, call this number, enter your member ID, and just follow the rest of the instructions when you call.